Investors, it seems, wary about massive spending by Alphabet, parent of Google, on artificial intelligence growth. Company almost doubling its capex plans for 2026. Let's get more from Dan Ives, Global Head of Tech Research at Wedbush. Dan, always great to get your insight, and thanks for joining us. What do you think? Was this a shock, Alphabet's big capex?
You want to see them double down on capex. It speaks to the AI revolution. I mean, if you look, the monetization that they're showing is I think is something that has surprised investors on the upside. Look at Google Cloud, 48% growth. So the point is, I get some of the worries, but they're showing it, they're proving it, and I think that's been a huge part of their success.
Yeah, Google Cloud year-over-year revenue growth of about 48%. I mean, it's a giant business, but it's growing at an incredible pace.
Look, a year ago, the Toronto cab driver was bearish on Google. And now look where we are. I mean, the point is it's been a massive success story. They're playing offensive in terms of doubling down on capex. Advertising has been so strong. Look, I think we're seeing just this white knuckle period across tech. Google down today on this print, on the capex. It is a massive head scratcher. It creates the opportunities.
What are they actually spending on? It's actual physical data centers?
Look, there's more data centers under construction today than active data centers. And you think about all their customers, both on the consumer side as well as on the enterprise side. I mean, data centers is how it's the hearts and lungs of the AI revolution. So Google needs to spend. Look, it's no different than look at Oracle, 45, 50 billion that they're going to need to spend to get Oracle deal. Look what Microsoft's doing. I mean, we're talking trillions being spent, and Google is not just going to watch us from the sidelines. They're going to be front and center.
God, these numbers are mind-blowing, though. CapEx in 2026 expected to be about 180 billion. Now, the street had been looking for about 120 billion. So I said almost double. That was a bit of an exaggeration. But it's going to be, excuse me, about 50% higher than the street had expected.
Look, but you want to see them do this because the fact that they're doubling down, that speaks to their confidence about monetization of fourth industrial revolution. You know, if they slow down, let's just say they slow down capex and cash flow and EPS came up this year.
Right.
I wouldn't view that as a good thing, even though maybe in the near term it helps numbers. It's talking about what this is going to look like over the next 2, 3, 4 years. Look, it speaks to everything we're seeing across tech. This is a fourth industrial revolution. We're in year 3 of a 10-year build-out.
Year 3. It's just amazing. There must be a rush to get electrical contractors and equipment. It must be inflating prices, for one thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, a good thing to be right now is someone that works in a data center. You know, they might have a few Rolexes that they're wearing.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that it's a supply demand that we're seeing in terms of data center build out. Now, the second, third, fourth derivatives are playing out across power, infrastructure, because this is now, it's a race. And that's what you're seeing in big tech play out.
And Gemini is their flagship AI product, and RBC reckons that it continues to catch up on ChatGPT.
Narrowing the gap. And I think right now, I mean, if you look at Altman and OpenAI, they're looking behind their back and they see Gemini coming about 100 miles an hour in that left lane in a Ferrari. And I think that's something that's been a huge part of the success of Google. Go back to a few years ago. I mean, it was really viewed like they dropped the ball. And you got to give credit to Sundar and Google and everything that they've done. I think the success is there. And that's why, especially after DOJ lost on the Google in terms of the breakup, I mean, they're not just going to sort of sit here on the treadmill. They're going to aggressively go after this market.
And it looks like their cloud revenue alone is now at top $70 billion US on an annual basis.
Yeah, and think about it, I mean, that was just Microsoft's game. Now, I mean, obviously Google benefiting, we'll see it from Amazon tonight. But look, this isn't just a, it's not just Microsoft, it's not just Google, it's not just Amazon. It's not just Oracle. We're talking about something we haven't seen, in our lifetime. And you're talking about fourth industrial revolution that's just happened to be playing out, and it's big tech that's winning. Now, look, is there a digestion period with that? Yes. But I think this is something that's more and more bullish for Google in terms of these numbers.
Apparently, more than 80% of software as a service companies are using Gemini. Give us your thoughts on this sell-off in some of the traditional software stocks we've seen, or data management, data providers, Adobe, Thomson Reuters. Are investors overreacting here?
Look, I think I'd view it as a software Armageddon that's playing out. I mean, this is something from a structural perspective. They're essentially throwing out the sector. Look, I mean, I've covered tech for, decades, right? And I've never seen anything like this.
Wow.
In my view, Salesforce, Microsoft, you look at some of these names like CrowdStrike and cybersecurity, I think this thing has gotten way overdone. And look, is it a headwind? Yeah. But this is not something that should cause a structural breakdown and essentially throw in the sector in the garbage. And I think those are the opportunities.
Right. So investors are being too hard on some of these names, you think, right now?
I think look, I get it, it's a headwind, but way overreaching, as well as also the use cases are going to ultimately be created within software. And I think that's why you look at the install base, the hundreds of thousands of customers they have. This is not all just going to get done by Microsoft, Google, and others. It's software that's going to play a huge role.
We better go, Dan. Always great hearing from you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
Dan Ives of Wedbush.